Here it is, part 2 of my top 10 underrated movies. Number 5 is Do the Right Thing. Now, like I said, this is about critics as well as audiences. And for this one, I am going to say straight up, Spike Lee should be an Academy Award winning director. Say it right now, because this movie was so well directed, and I thought for sure that after I watched it, I thought, oh, this probably won an Academy Award, right? Then nope, didn't. Of course not, apparently. But yeah, it's so well done with the way that it's kind of, you see all the racial tension boiling over. It's a slow boil, but with all the different characters trying to live their lives, and you see this undercurrent of racism and racialism really being, like this with everybody, and then it just erupts at the climax of the movie. And and what's great is that Spike Lee has you wondering, did he do the right thing? Did the main character, Mookie, do the right thing? Just like the title of the movie, did he? And so the way that was whole done was very well done. The characters, the only real characters you can say that aren't likable are the cops. And I think nowadays people will be like, yeah, of course they're the unlikable characters, but these predated the LA riots in '92. This came out in 1989, and man, was it just nailed it as far as the racial tension and the way that people are just almost waiting for something to happen. And look what's happening now, even with all the things that are happening in America. So yeah, man, this is a good movie, and I'm surprised it didn't win an Academy Award, because apparently Spike Lee isn't allowed to win an Academy Award. Speaking of Academy Awards, number 4 is The Truman Show. And I'm going to say it again. Jim Carrey should be an Academy Award nominated actor. Didn't not necessarily have to win it, but he should have been nominated for this role. Again, in the movie, it's ahead of its time because of the whole element of reality television. I mean, this took place when only like The Real World and Road Rules on MTV were out. This was before Survivor and Big Brother and the gigantic boom of reality show BS that we saw. Before the Kardashians were plaguing television. Before all those different shows that were just, oh, we're gonna film like a pawn shop or crap like that. No, this was before all of that, and it really was the kind of the end game in a sense of where would reality television go. And it's so interesting to see this guy descend into not just madness but discovery, because when he realizes that his life is a lie in a sense, and all that stuff that happens with him. Jim Carrey does a great performance. Ed Harris as well does a great performance in this movie, and you feel for Jim Carrey's character. You want him to get out. You want him to discover the truth. And it's so interesting to see. And this came out like right in between The Cable Guy and Liar Liar. People didn't like The Cable Guy, and people really liked Liar Liar, to the point that The Truman Show kind of gets forgotten because of how good and how well liked Liar Liar is. And it's a really good movie, but again, this one's very dramatic as well as funny, and man, it is good, and I think it doesn't get the credit that it deserves for being as good as it is. And Jim Carrey should have gotten an Academy Award nomination even if he didn't win it. But hey, that's just me. Number 3 is Unbreakable. This is the movie I was referring to in my last top 10 when I talk about that The Sixth Sense, in my opinion, is not M. Night's best movie. This is Unbreakable. It's so good. The twist in this one, first of all, I think is better, and the way it's set up is heartbreaking. And this is a superhero origin story that you didn't even realize was a superhero origin story for like half of the movie. And I think that's one of the things that people didn't like, because at the time this came out in 2000, the only movies that were coming out were like X-Men. The first X-Men had come out, the X2 hadn't. Spider-Man, the first Spider-Man movie with Tobey Maguire hadn't come out yet. You just had like Batman and Robin and Spawn and Steel. Those movies would come out a couple years prior to this, or sorry, a few years prior to this. But this movie was a really grounded, kind of realistic superhero movie. And it's done so well, and Bruce Willis and Samuel Jackson have such good chemistry in this movie, and the way they play off each other, and the discovery of, I think you're a superhero. It's like, no, I can't be. It's like, and then what's great is they even show that he has a kryptonite, just like any good superhero should. And it's so well done. And by the end, yes, the ending's kind of, you could say like, oh, I wish they had done more, or maybe they could have done that twist earlier in the movie, but at the same time, it's so well done, and it is heartbreaking, like a punch in the gut. But I think it's because people were expecting a twist or something really like mind-blowing and, you know, Sixth Sense like, that this got forgotten for so many years. This was the forgotten M. Night Shyamalan movie. And when people talking about M. Night movies for so long, it was, oh, The Sixth Sense and everything sucks. Like I said in the last video, but they always forget about Unbreakable. And it wasn't until Split came out, and especially with that last scene in the end of the movie, now we're like, oh man, this completely changes what the movie is. And with Split and now Glass, people are finally coming around to seeing how good Unbreakable actually is. This was a grounded, realistic superhero movie before Logan, before The Dark Knight, before Batman Begins, before those sort of gritty, realistic movies. There was Unbreakable. And again, ahead of its time, and such a good movie. M. Night's best, in my opinion. My favorite M. Night movie. Maybe Glass can beat it. I'm looking forward to Glass too, when that comes out in January, both in the States and hopefully here in Japan it comes out. Come on. I want to see the movie. Number 2 is Chasing Amy. This movie is so underrated. I underrate it. It's not my favorite Kevin Smith movie. Dogma is. But this is a good movie, and it's a story about love with some Luke 2 Live Crew in the background. If you watch the commentary, you know what I'm talking about. But yeah, it's a good Kevin Smith movie. There's Banky Holden, Jason Lee, and Ben Affleck have good chemistry together. You can tell their friendship. But when Alyssa comes along, there's this, because Banky's like, why are you trying to hook up with this woman? She's a lesbian. Why are you doing this to yourself? Why is everything going to be a freaking challenge for you? And that whole relationship with Holden and Alyssa as well is kind of interesting, because once he learns more about her, then the less he's sure of himself. And the ending is, it can be kind of flat for some people, but some people it's kind of cool. Personally, I thought the second half wasn't as good as the first half, but that's because I'm not a fan of romance movies. But when that first half is mostly comedy, it's hilarious, and then the second half is kind of drama and a romance movie, and I kind of lose it a bit. But if you like romance movie and a different kind of movie in a sense, because he's trying to basically be in a relationship with a lesbian, or maybe she's bisexual. That sort of stuff is kind of well done in the movie. I like it. Like I said, not my favorite Kevin Smith movie, but definitely a good movie. And watch the commentary too, if you get a chance to. The commentary is hilarious, by the way. Yeah, good stuff. But the number 1 underrated movie, in my opinion, is Oscar. Now, some of you are probably thinking, wait, Oscar? I've never heard this movie. Exactly. That's why it's underrated. This movie did not perform too well at the box office. It wasn't really liked by critics, but I enjoy the hell out of this movie. It's the other Sylvester Stallone movie I mentioned at the beginning of my list. How serendipitous. I started with the Stallone movie and I end with the Stallone movie. And this is a fun movie. It stars Sylvester Stallone as Angelo Snaps Provolone, who visits his dad when his dad is on his deathbed, and his dad makes him swear to go legit, not be a gangster anymore. This takes place in America, not Chicago, in Chicago during the 1931, during the Great Depression and Prohibition. So it's kind of funny to see Stallone be the straight man in all this insane crap happening around him. He's got to deal with it. It's hilarious. And he doesn't really crack the jokes, only maybe one or two, but he's funny. All the other characters around him are hilarious. And he's like, oh God, I'm trying to go legit. And this is the crap I have to put up with today, all day. It's great. The Fanucci's are great. That whole scene with him and the Fanucci's and with him and little Anthony. And Marisa Tomei plays his daughter in this movie. She's funny and she's hot. She's hot. But yeah, that whole dynamic, all these different characters are so funny, so entertaining. Tim Curry's in this movie too, which you can't go wrong. And oh man, just the way it's all put together is so fun for me. I laugh so much at this movie because the jokes just land, the characters are hilarious, and I can't recommend this movie enough. That's one of the reasons why I did this list, so I can recommend movies for people who are like, hey, maybe I should try something new. Check out Oscar. It's funny. Maybe not for everyone, but I sure got a kick out of it. I thought it was hilarious. So that's my thoughts. What do you think is the most underrated movie ever? Like, people don't give it the recognition you think it deserves. Now, I think there are a lot of movies that could have gone on this list, so there will be a sequel someday down the road, but not soon. Because in December, I have something else I've been wanting to do, and I think it's going to be super. So, until then, take care. Bye.